What's up, everyone? It's Ben Zinn with NextLevelGuitar.com. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're bringing you another one of our Inspired by video lessons. And today we're going to take a look at a really great British guitar player. And we're going to look at something he might have done during his fusion period. And that's how he might develop a melody. Take something nice and simple and kind of expand on it. So let's check it out. Hey, before we continue on, take a look at the text box below here. Click on this link in the YouTube text box and we are going to send you a free video lesson and a coinciding ebook that's not available from YouTube, available exclusively through Next Level Guitar. Take a look at that and we'll continue on. Alright, so I'm playing over a backing track or a loop, so I want to show you guys really quickly the chord progression we're playing over so that you can create a loop of your own or have a friend play it. And the chord progression is D minor, B flat major 7th, G minor, make sure you skip the A string on this one, skip string 5, D sus4, and D major. So that's our chord cycle, and this chord progression is going to suggest a D natural minor scale up until the very end, where we'll kind of dip into the major scale a little bit. But let's take a look at a position for D minor that we can use to develop our melody today. We're up here in 12th position, starting on the 4th string, with the index finger, and here's our position. So we're going to use that exclusively today to play our melody. We'll dip into a little bit of some pentatonic playing here in the 10th position. And as I mentioned, we'll borrow one note from the D major scale, but it's just one note, so we're not going to worry about that scale position. We'll take a look at that note when we get to it. So the basic idea today is that instead of playing a guitar solo over this progression, we're going to kind of stick to a melody, but we're going to use some things that we do when we play a guitar solo to help develop and enhance the melody. So what do I mean by that? All of our fun tricks, bending, sliding, vibrato, all of those things that we tend to use when we're playing leads, we can use as we're approaching melody to help develop it along as we repeat it. Let's start by taking a look at the basic melody and how it sits in position. So I'm going to demonstrate this melody as dryly as I can, and I'm going to play it against our backing track so we can hear it in context. So a nice simple sounding melody, and that's just great, but as we start to repeat it, we don't want to play it the same way each time. So like I said, we want to start to develop the idea and expand on it. One of the first ways that we can do that is through the use of bends. So we can play the exact same melody but start bending up to pitch instead of targeting each of those notes. So here would be our first variation, simply by bending some of those notes instead of fretting them. Same idea. Now let's just add some vibrato to further expand on that melody. same melody, but now we're adding some things that we can do specific to the guitar, bending, vibrato, to help liven up that melody. Now we can look at further expanding on that by just tweaking it a little bit, just changing it just ever so slightly. So I'm going to take the same framework of the same melody, and now let's change up some of what we're doing with our bends. So for example, to start out, I will bend up a whole step and then up a step and a half. So up a whole step, up a step and a half, without releasing too. Next one, I'll keep the same with the bend, just a whole step bend. Now I will also do another whole step bend and a step and a half, but let's raise the octave. Before we played this one down here, same note up here. That's a G note, this is a G note. So we can use octave displacement, or changing where we're playing that melody note. So we're not changing the note, we're just changing the octave that we're playing it. So we're going to move this one up here, and use that same little trick there. Up a whole step, up a step and a half, and then back down to the original fretted note. Okay, so we have our beginning melody note, up a step and a half. Second one we'll keep the same, just bend it up a whole step. We moved our melody note up an octave. And then to finish out, let's make this a little bit fancier and just do a nice little trill. So now we're going a little bit further from our original melody, but it's still, you can still hear the melody kind of inside of that last example. So we're continuing to develop the melody and change it. We don't ever want to go so far away from it that we don't recognize the melody, but having said that, there's nothing wrong with throwing in some goodies every now and again. So we're going to take that idea a step further and now start to play some more fills or lead type lines within the melody. So we can do something like this where we play the basic melody and then answer it with a lick out of our pentatonic scale. So what were we doing there? Basically, again, we're keeping the melody the same, but we're just throwing in some licks out of our pentatonic scale. First example, went back to our basic bend and release on the melody. And I just threw in one of these, good old staples. Then I went back to my melody. Then I threw in a little trill lick here. And once again, back to the melody. And a little bent note and a stationary note here. So this is 12 and 13. We bend 12 up a whole step, then release, then pull off to 10. And in our last two notes, we normally played those up here, They just kind of work. Again, it's the same notes, just octave displacement, playing them in a different spot. Same notes that we played in the original melody, just happens to work in this position. So that's just a little call and answer. We're playing our melody, our basic melody that we started with, and we're just answering it with some licks. You know, we never stray too far away from that melody. All right, so there we go. A few concepts that you guys can use. Again, just developing a melody, making small tweaks here and there to our basic formula to come up with something new. The sky's the limit once you dig into that stuff. It's all about just having fun and being creative with it. So thanks so much for joining us today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson. If you want more, go over to nextlevelguitar.com. We have over 1,000 different video lessons there for players of all skill levels, all styles, beginner all the way through advanced. So check that out, and we'll see you back here next time. Thanks so much.